Hi, I'm Choccy, a heterosexual white male who enjoys the company of men while playing CS2. However, my enjoyment and right to free speech is compromised by people who are different and have conflicting views to me, which naturally means there is quite a bit of animosity thrown my way by modern day SJWs, LGBTQIA+, and furries who frequent the CS2 lobbies. So much so that anybody with an agenda against the straight white male will turn on you instantaneously the moment you exhibit any white guy energy. Doubly so if you happen to proudly display your white heritage for all to see. Naturally, that kind of hate makes it hard to recommend getting into the game for any of my mentally manic marshmallow monkeys and neurologically naughty Nazis. So, I'd like to provide a few suggestions, tips, and tricks on how to reduce the power these fattiest people have that make the experience unenjoyable. Without further ado, this is Choccy's Guide to Surviving Counter-Strike 2 as a straight white male in 2025. One step to playing CS2 in the current year as a genetically superior melanin deficient bleach demon is don't. Being dead ass though, the first tip to make the game enjoyable is understanding the tools at your disposal to cool the crabbiness of the uncompromising cunts. There are a few options at your fingertips just with the settings menu, although they come with an omission. Though it might be tempting to just mute everyone, remove avatars, and block text chat, while eliminating the exposure to people with differing opinion to your own, it also makes the game lonely, preventing you from discovering and connecting with the few scattered other straight males or white allies you might encounter out in the melting pot of CS2 matchmaking. They do exist, and finding them will make your experience better, as queuing with whites does have a good number of benefits. So, I do recommend these exact settings copied from the footage I'm showing on screen now. Text filtering set to no, allow animated avatars set to yes, hide avatar images and customize items to show all, and clean player names to no. The option to show avatars and custom items might be a bit of a silly idea if you know what kind of vile shit people like to name and craft onto their guns. However, by choosing to show only friends items, it prevents avatars from showing on the scoreboard, and that's going to be your primary way of finding other whites to play with outside of apps or already grandfathered in groups. The question is, why do you not mute the enemy team? The issue with muting the enemy team is that it also blocks their avatars, and sometimes you might encounter a scenario where the enemy team are white supremacists or Nazi allies. I know in my experience, even if you're not on a team with a fellow melanin deficient man, if you shoot them a friend request or just type your favorite N-word in the chat, more often than not, you will end up making a friend just by virtue of also being a superior individual, so long as your profile picture and bio give off white energy. There are a few tricks you can use very quickly to block out everything in the event that you happen to come across a lobby where not only are there no visible allies, but you're getting outright furry convention vibes from those you have the misfortune of being stuck with for 3/4 of an hour. You could make like 37% of the LGBT community and seriously consider suicide, or a less dramatic approach might be to just mute everyone when they say something that offends your frail male ego. Next, if the text chat is being flooded with furry RP and or threats of suicide from the aforementioned 37%, you can type this command into your console. Simply type ignore all faggots. This will restrict all text-based messages from anyone who is not heterosexual, white, or male. I recommend binding this to a big red button, which should be kept close by at all times, so that the second you see anything even mildly gay or more likely majorly faggotly, you can just obliterate it from existence. This button can be used twice in succession in the event that only your team are discussing minor attracted people and justifying their sexuality. So, those are the communications options, but what about gameplay? There are a few things you should keep in mind when trying to keep any and all LGBT and furry interactions to a minimum when dealing with these misandrist heterophobic dogs. As tempting as it may be to engage with the fur-wearing kitty diddlers and fight back, there's nothing you can do to change their minds. You're not going to get whoever's in your lobby to reconsider their position on child rape by hitting them with a well-constructed argument about moral ethics and the prison time related to such an offense, so try to dissociate. The second point to keep in mind while trying not to have your experience ruined is to understand some of the innate anti-LGBT measures implemented into the game and be able to react accordingly to get these people removed. The best way to trigger these is to mention basic biology. The best way to get them booted from your game, however, is using anti-griefing auto-kick. Achieve this by body blocking, standing in utility, or making any statement about pronouns or the number of genders, causing the unsavory teammates to attack you verbally and in-game. The second of the anti-LGBT countermeasures is the vote kick. If you don't like someone's opinions, just vote to remove them from the game. Better achieved when queued with fellow whites. More votes is more better. Making friends is very easy for a normal person, unlike the socially inept anal astronauts of the queer community. I am more than aware that having and making friends is a monumental task for anyone within the LGBT organization. Although numerous, these individuals hate themselves and those within their own community more than they hate you. Still, there are methods you can use to filter out the undesirables. Is it annoying that you have been unfortunately saddled with the task of teaming with double-gated bog queens in a very serious 5v5 competitive shooter? Yes, and I'm sorry that the game is in the state that it is. No thanks to Valve for refusing to implement any type of chat or voice moderation at even the most basic level. My end goal with this guide is to help those of heterosexuality, neurotypical, and white identifying groups who feel the itch to play a match to also feel happy and safe in your own skin as you deserve to be. To put it as succinctly and potently as possible, fuck the haters. Keep living your best life. On to the concluding thoughts. That's about all I have to say for this production. I play this game, as much as the community that plays it constantly disgusts me in ways so prolific as to be insufferable. By playing Counter-Strike, you are willingly signing yourself up to be dropped straight into the sacred band. So, if you need to step away, or even if you decided that it's all too much to handle, that's okay, and you are valid for feeling that way. The gays and furries are scum, and I don't blame you for not wanting to deal with them. Valve doesn't either apparently, since they seem allergic to handing out even the most basic of punishments for the most egregious of speech and behaviour. Like seriously, they don't even ban the word queer, hard R and everything. It's ridiculous. I would recommend other games to play, but there's no game quite like CS. And as much as I want to dropkick some of these child-touching, fursuited, science-denying idiots, I come back to CS because it's fun. But it's only fun with the right safety nets in place. I have been heterosexual and white. Thank you all very much for watching and enjoying my video.